Welcome back to another HVAC Success Secrets Revealed with Thaddeus and Evan, where we have good conversations with good people, and any good conversation worth having drunk. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers. Tongue twisters today.
Oh boy, it's been a day. It's already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not used to doing the show this late.
There you go. It's because you're probably already been drinking for the last 2 hours.
Maybe when you're in Rome, at
Right?
the cottage, having a good time.
Yeah, looking at the lake.
Absolutely delightful time. Today we've got on an old friend of ours. He is a Red Robin aficionado. So if you ever need to get a good Whiskey River burger, he will point out exactly where you need to go. He is a brand new father. He is a member of the Top 40 Under 40 Club, released just recently from AHR News.
Wait, do you have to pay to get into that?
I think so. He's also the host of the Smart HVAC Marketing Podcast and the owner of Rival Digital Marketing, none other than Eric Thomas. Eric's an old friend of ours. We're in a mastermind together. We chat all the time in regards to marketing and picking each other's brains, what we're doing with clients, what's working, what's not working. Hey, we make fun of clients sometimes and the choices that they make. And that's what we're going to be doing today, is looking in through the summer, looking at what it was that we noticed in terms of mistakes from a marketing perspective on our side, mistakes from an operator's perspective, and what it is that we're helping clients fix on their end. That's going to be a lot of fun. Also diving into a topic that Eric posted yesterday in regards to something that he learned right away in university about marketing and what it is that's going to be the premise of a new book that he's got coming out this fall and winter. So excited to be having him on the show today, especially as a new father of a brand new baby, only 14 days old, who was a little milk drunk this afternoon. So excited to have you on, Eric.
Yeah, and like those who have been listening for a long time know that we don't generally have a lot of marketers on, or really any random marketer. It's individuals who we have had a conversation with and that we know, like, and we trust them and their process in terms of what they do, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of shady marketing companies out there, of which On Purpose Media and Rival Digital are not those companies, by the way. So excited to be able to dive into some marketing topics.
Absolutely.
And of course, today's show would not be possible without our sponsors, and in no real particular order: Profit Rocket, Real Time 360, and CHIRP. Oh, and On Purpose Media. That's us. On Purpose, or CHIRP is an ultimate automation toolbox for home service pros. One thing I like: direct integrations. They have drop-down menus, so like Service Titan, House Call Pro, Jobber, etc. Automates text messages, emails, ringless voicemails, direct mail, rehash program. It goes on and on and on. Be like Dave. Sign up, and in your first month, he added $42,000 in revenue in his business just with CHIRP. Cassie signed up and added $80,000 in revenue in her business just with CHIRP in the first 2 weeks. If you want 25% off, check it out. chirp.com/HSSR.
Love it. And of course, we got Real Time 360. Are you tired of juggling multiple marketing tools and agencies owning all of your logins? I know both for Eric at Rival as well as for us, this is something that we talk about often, and the difficulties that we have sometimes dealing with marketing companies, because they own all of our clients' old shit. And we want to make sure that we say goodbye to the frustration, and that you as business owners can take control of your marketing with Real Time 360. You can streamline reviews, automate social media, engage customers with live chat, and more importantly, track all of your success with reporting all in one place. Join the revolution and power your success with Real Time 360.
.io.
That's the website, .io. Go check it out. And of course, once you've got all this happening, if you're an HVAC owner and you are starting to grow your company, not just top line revenues, but bottom line profits, you got to check out the Profit Rocket Blueprint. It's been out for over a year now, and the blueprint has helped over 300 businesses grow in the last year. So if you want to join any of those businesses, you can learn what Victor used to scale his business from 0 to 50 million in just over 4 years. It covers everything from setting up your P&Ls, SOPs for all your positions, call scripts, marketing plans, call processes, and so much more. So go check that out at callprofitrocket.com. And while you're there, you may as well sign up for the Profit Rocket Growth Summit, which is happening this September 27 to 29 in Austin, Texas. There's so many amazing speakers on the agenda, including me, Amanda Triolo, Marcus Luttrell, Tim Grover, Lance Bachman, and so many more, including our guest today, Eric Thomas. You'll get to see him podcasting live on stage there as well. So go check it out at callprofitrocket.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to HVAC Success Secrets Revealed, a show where we interview industry leaders and disruptors, revealing the success secrets to create and unleash the ultimate HVAC business. Now your hosts, Thaddeus and Evan.
What up, Eric Thomas?
What's up, man? I was getting like some real flashback to good days when I saw those AHR clips.
Right?
Oh wow!
We got into a little bit of trouble there.
It's a good thing there. Yeah, it's a good thing there's no video evidence of after the HVAC Tactical Awards.
Oh gosh,
that was a walking train wreck from all three of us, really.
Yeah, that restaurant was about to close, and we were just like, "Bring us four more."
Last call. What do you want? Another round times 2.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, good times.
It was a fantastic time. Absolutely. Eric, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for doing us a solid and hopping on. We appreciate you and all the work that you're doing. And a special thank you to your wife as well for taking the time to allow you to step away from fatherhood for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the opportunity to be on the show today. I'm super excited to enjoy some fatherly beverages and talk shop with some of my friends.
There we go.
And it's okay if you forget what you're talking about in the middle of a sentence. I feel you, and any parent who's ever been through it with a 2-week-old child feels you as well.
Yeah. Man, we got that white noise machine just like constantly running, so the baby will be sleeping. And like it died last night, and I swear the house had never been so quiet. It was just like, whoa, it was crazy.
You know what's funny is after you've had the white noise machine in your room for however many months your kid's going to be in there, you're going to want to buy your own for your own room, and you're going to want to have it running, because that's what happened in our house. We're like, oh shit, kid's out. We're like, oh fuck, let's go get another white noise machine for our own room.
Yeah, I could see that because it got so quiet. I was like, I can't do this. I'm about to go crazy. That's funny.
Love it. All right, so you're 2 weeks into fatherhood. Biggest realization in the first 2 weeks, and I am curious as well. Did at any moment you're like, oh shit, what the hell did we just do?
I would say biggest realization was just like how amazing and how cool the birthing process is. Like, and then that was like, everyone was like, yeah, it's such a special moment, you're gonna love it, but like you never really actually realize it until you're like there and it's like happening. And I was like, man, I saw the head start coming. I was like, started watching. I was like, yo. So that was cool. Another thing is that they go to the bathroom a lot, that's for sure. So definitely, yeah, I've been changing a lot of diapers. So definitely gotten, a little bit outside of my comfort zone there. At any moment did I realize what were we doing?
You're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I mean, in the hospital there for a second, like right after he'd had a procedure done, boy. So, and like there was some, took his diaper off, he started peeing up in the air, and how it goes. Just like, I was like, what do we do? There's pee going everywhere. It's like, I was like, and there's no one there to help you. It's just like us. And I'm like, what do we do about this? Do we just let him pee and then we clean it up after?
Pretty much. Throw down the newspaper and let him go.
Wait until they shit all over the place, and they get shit on the wall and their dresser and down the dresser and on the carpet and the closet door all in one go.
This is real
and
talk
then wait
right now.
And then wait until they take a shit on the carpet, turn around and crawl through it all the way through the carpet before you realize it, and then you have to get out the carpet cleaner and clean your carpet.
No, that sounds awful. He did have a blowout at the doctor's appointment on Monday this past week, and like his whole outfit was ruined. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit. And we didn't have I don't know what we're doing. So we didn't have like a backup pair of clothes in his diaper bag or anything. So we were like, all right, bud, you're just going to be rolling around in your diaper for the next 2 hours. But
Things that you will never repeat as mistakes.
Yeah. Hey, what's the best part about being a circumcision doctor? You get to keep the tips.
Ah, there we go. That's a good one.
Evan.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is. And I would even say that's not even dark humor either.
No.
So no, I mean my mind went.
No, it's just the tip.
Later, dark humor on that one. So Eric, let's dive into I guess summer, right? It's August 30th. Summer's coming to a close. Not quite there yet. Already done, depending on the market and where you're at. Here in Canada, it's like we're already getting our furnaces ready. No, it's actually not that bad yet. It's still kind of warm, but we're coming up to a close. In looking at that, in looking at some of the things that I guess you've seen from your clients and your customers, what are some of the biggest learning opportunities that an HVAC business can say, oh shit, we should have done this better, that you have noted and you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll probably be preaching to the choir about this one, but I think that everyone, for the past 3 years, has just generally dropped the ball on maintenance memberships, club memberships. And it's literally, it's no coincidence, man. Like the clients that we have that are up 40, 50, 60, 70, 100+% have, at least 1,000 club members for every million they do. They're just rocking and rolling. They've got enough levers to pull. And then the ones that are, day by day, I need calls. You go look at their club membership and they're just like, oh, I've got 150, I think 300. Haven't talked to them in 2 years. So I think that, yeah, the membership thing is huge. It's just the ones that for some people, it was just enough to keep them, break even, with distributors saying that box sales are down 30% in some markets more, some markets less. But the clients that we've seen, even if they're up 1%, then they're actually up, depending on the market that they're in, 31%, maybe 21%, just because of the way that things have been going. So yeah, club memberships has been a huge thing that we've seen for sure. And it's just making sure that you've got a strategy in place to talk to them and, keep them engaged and active and needing your service.
So from those clients that are up 40, 50, 60, 100%, I'm curious, have you asked them what some of their best practices have been? And even from the podcast that you run too, what are some of the best practices that you see those guys using within their business to generate the membership sales at a significantly higher rate?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, this is going to be a topic of discussion at Profit Rocket because one of our clients is on the podcast panel, Brody Pinnell out in Los Angeles, and he's crushing it with just even this year in general out in LA, where they've had the mildest summer in years.
Long time.
I mean, dude, we're in August and all summer we've still been running their heating and furnace campaigns on Google Ads. We never turned them off because they just kept performing because it was 65 degrees there, 70 degrees at the most. So, but I think one is always getting, when you're in the home for something, it doesn't always have to be a box sale or, a change out or an installation or something. It could be as small as a repair, no heat, no cool call, but they're capturing that and they're turning it into a membership. And what they're doing, I'm not certain if this is entirely what Brody's doing, but this is what a lot of folks that we're seeing do is when they call, when they're getting dispatched, the dispatcher's going ahead and prompting them on that club membership. Be like, hey, make sure you ask Evan about our comfort club while he's there. And then when Evan shows up, they're like, oh, tell me about this comfort club. They told me to ask you about it. Boom. and you can just go, straight into the spiel or whatever it may be. And I know that CHIRP does this too. I think.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. I
Yeah.
know one of the things that you can do with an integration with CHIRP into your CRM software, depending on what it is and how you have it set up, is you can actually say it'll actually look up to see if they're a club membership or not. And when they do the on the way texts or the confirmation texts, more specifically the on the way, they can actually distinguish between a member or a non-member and say, hey, be sure to ask about our Comfort Club membership and get 10% off your repair call when our text shows up. Or if you're offering a discount, right? I should mention that not everybody's offering that discount for their membership. Some are, some aren't, but great way to be able to do that. And if you're ever wanting to tour that software, by the way, to be able to add this in here, well, guess what? You get 25% off your first 3 months. chirp.com/HSSR.
Yeah.
How's that for an extra plug there, Ryan Fenn?
Love it. Yeah. And another thing, I mean, I know this, I'm probably not out here providing any like innovative or game-changing ideas. I'm sure a lot of people know this already, but I just want to drive the point home again, is with those members, just getting them on a monthly plan rather than having them pay for the whole year up front. That way you don't have to call for renewal whenever it comes time for that membership to renew, just for retention, purposes. And also, kind of turns you're somehow into a subscription type business, so to speak. And I'm sure everyone listening here has a million subscriptions they have no clue about. It's just hitting them for $8.99 a month.
Right. But that is a legit thing, right? You think about people and the monthly amounts that they pay, that they're like, oh, it's only $10, or oh, it's only $15, or it's only $8 here. You're like, fuck, use a gym membership. $60, $70, $80, $90, depending on where you're at, and people will pay it and not ever go to the gym because it's only $90 a month. It's okay. Right. Yeah. And now but then when the time that they go, and so leveraging and utilizing that, but it also becomes sticky too at that point, because if they're actively looking at their credit card statement, which maybe they're not, but if they are, now they see your business name, 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 and now it's a branding play on top of everything.
Yeah.
Well, and so let me flip that around though, because if you constantly see them on your credit card statement, that's not a good feeling that you're associating to the brand name. So from a marketing perspective, how is it that you can then flip that around so that they feel good about this every time they see it every month?
Yeah. That's,
right.
That's, like times are pretty tough right now. So like you could say, if you're going to pay up front, I think if the membership that I'm a part of with our company, annualized would be like $350, $360, something like that. Like that's a home run sales opportunity for your maintenance tech or for your dispatcher or whoever's talking to the customer. Be like, it could be $380 a year, or it could be $189 for this maintenance visit, or you could just pay $8.99 today and get the maintenance visit included that they're going to come do, because once you could become a member at $8.99 a month, then it's included in that service. So Take your pick. Do you want to pay $8 or $380 today?
Right. Here's a pricing hack, by the way, is $8.97, not $8. Like, so it's just, right. I know it's like some people are like, fuck. I know this is something I've been on for like a kick for a long time, is when you end it in 7, and Walmart does this, by the way. And like a lot of the big box stores, they'll put it at, like, if you look at their pricing, pay attention to it next time. A lot of numbers end in 7. And the reason being is if somebody hears $9.99, they're like, oh, $10. So if they hear, oh, $9.97, oh, it's only like $9 and stuff. That's fine. Right. It's just, it's 2 cents. But it's a subtle shift in the consumer behavior too, in terms of the pricing aspect.
I'm curious if doing something with even your branding within your point of service system, so that you change the name from just like, Ben's Heating and Cooling and here's your maintenance bill, to, Peace of Mind Maintenance from Ben's Heating and Cooling.
Yeah.
So now it's associating more of a positive thing than a negative thing with that charge.
I wish I knew, but that would be smart. Like if I go look at my credit card statement and I paid $7 for peace of mind, I'd be like, okay, I'll keep paying that $7 because it's
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing as email marketing, right? When you see that in your inbox every time, what is the association that you want people to have to your brand when they see it in their inbox? They want to
Yeah.
know that you're adding value to them. They want to know that there's information behind it that's going to be valuable for them to click on and check out, right? They don't want to be
Right
annoyed
on.
by it. So what is it that you're sending people?
Yeah.
How are you putting that subject line in that email, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So maintenance being a big thing. And by the way, one thing I want to point out that you referenced too was, these aren't new ideas. Well, for a lot of things that we talk about here, they're not going to be new ideas, because you should be weary of the person that's trying to sell you new ideas.
Yeah.
Right? Jim Rohn has a quote. He said, "Be weary of the salesman touting newly manufactured antiques." Right? There's no new ideas to success. They're old. It's how well are you implementing them now? And are there ways that you can implement them even better now, knowing what you know? So,
dude, you know who's crushing this right now is Stephanie and David from Anchor
Yeah.
Heating and Air.
absolutely.
Everything they do is leading people to become a Comfort Club membership or giving back to the community. They're not on there talking about, please buy a new heating and air conditioning system, or begging for leads. They're out there saying, hey, look, we're sponsoring the pre-party at Chris Stapleton. Hey, look, we're over here at this softball field doing this thing. Hey, look, we're doing the parade of homes. They're everywhere, and it's all leading towards the captain's club. And so they're building their maintenance base, but they're also involved in the community, building that brand. And that's another thing that so many people have overlooked. And look, I love digital marketing, and I know you guys do too, but I do feel like people have definitely overturned into digital marketing a few years back, where it was like, branding, whatever. Let me get some of them sweet leads, boy. Let me get some of those leads off of Google and Facebook. And so it became like, some people put too many eggs in that basket, and they forgot, like, hey, you need to be putting door hangers, a 6-pack, 6 to the left, to the right, across the street. You need to be doing your yard signs. You need to be dropping direct mail out here. You need to be putting your banner in left center field at the high school baseball field. People seem to have forgotten that in the pursuit of these, amazing, perfectly qualified install leads off of Google.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because you look at branding in Jordan Harrison, forget about branding in their local market, chiming in on our Facebook group. Look, Evan and I came from the branding world, right? We used to sell print ads in magazines that went to high-end neighborhoods. There was a company that they're through North America, and branding was a big play, but doing branding the right way. And you look at first off, Anchor has a Dan Antonelli brand, and you don't necessarily need a Dan Antonelli brand. He's the king of all kings when it comes to that. But having a really dialed in brand, right? Don't have a fucking white van with red and white lettering on it, right?
Snowflake and a flame.
A snowflake and a flame that's red and white, and just your logo on it. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't pull anybody towards your brand. But when you have that, and when you start to do those things, you don't necessarily have to go after that install market on Facebook. I know there's been some posts coming out lately, and I'm glad that we're kind of on this topic, because this is what I think about giving away a free air conditioner and bringing in a whole bunch of leads to that. Okay, that's great, but are you going to actually document that process? Are you going to get the videos behind that? Are you going to show the goodwill that you're doing with inside of your community? Are you going to make a story about it? Right. And when you can make this story, and we can connect these brands, and you can do those sorts of things, now you don't need as much of that install traffic on Facebook. You don't need as much as that Google traffic from your Google ads. You still need your SEO, because you still want to be able to show up for when people are searching for you. But when they do search for you, here's what branding does: familiarity. Now they search AC repair near me, and they see, we'll use Anchor Heating and Air as an example, right? They search AC repair near me, and they see Anchor Heating and Air as one of the 3 on the map pack, or one of the 3 in the SERP results, the search engine results below the Google Maps. Like, I got familiarity with that. Okay, well, I'm going to click on it. And here's what it does to the digital efforts. It actually drives your costs on digital down. Mm-hmm. You actually pay less on your digital because there's that brand familiarity. What you can do, and see Jordan creating video content around that brand, right? Now you take these things of, hey, we're over here at this event. Hey, we're over here at this event. Hey, we're over here at this event. You record it. Get out this guy right here. Do a recording, selfie video, or even filming some shit. Put it out there. Keep that content also somewhere else, not just on Facebook. If you can set up for your lives, so if you do a live or like a story that it saves to your phone, you can then take that content, spin it out to somebody like a Jordan Harrison or somebody, I don't know, Eric, if you guys do the social videos at all or not. We don't. We don't.
No,
it's
too much.
chaos.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
chaos. Jordan is phenomenal at what he does, right? But now you can then, what you do is if you want to actually put some dollars behind this shit, boost it or put in a video views behind it, right?
Yeah.
And so now video views or reach campaign is actually more effective on Facebook in terms of your dollars going further to get that out, and people soak that up, right? And now you're spending, you're not getting direct leads on Facebook, but again, that's part of your overall branding strategy. Somebody who does a really good job of this, and Victor has even said this too, is that he actually moves his budget up and down depending on the time of the year. So for him in California, when he was with Absolute Airflow, he actually increased his branding in the winter and decreased his digital. And that flipped come summer. He decreased some of his branding, increased his digital, because he's created that brand continuity across the board throughout the wintertime, right? And so like you look at the seasonalities of markets, and I know I'm going on a long rant here, but the idea was here, and this has been a long build up in my mind of things that I've been seeing on Facebook. Is that we know that in certain markets the demand just isn't quite there over the winter, but you still have to spend the money. And heck, let's use this recession as an example, or impending recession, or no recession is in your mindset, however you want to spin this. Historically, and they've tracked this since World War II, by the way, and I haven't looked at the data since like 2010 or 2014, but historically, people that continue to spend money in a recession come out 200% of their competitors, right? Because they remember that brand familiarity. They might not be ready for your services right now, but they're going to keep in mind when they are ready for your services. And if you've been front and center for them the entire time, they're going to remember that shit.
Oh yeah. Well, they say the best time to buy is when there's blood in the street, and like there hasn't been a bloodier time in the streets than probably 2008 than there is right now. And like, we'll see, some folks we're going to try to cut back some of our costs. So we're going to pull this back. We're going to pull this back. The people that are blowing up, the 70, 80 percenters, 90 percenters that are hitting it year over year, blowing up, they're like, hey, put another 10,000 into Google Ads, put another 10,000 in this Facebook campaign. Let's do this.
They're pushing the chips in. They're not pulling out.
Mm-hmm. They're like, fuck it. I'm going to pull out a line of credit and set up more campaigns for brand awareness and stuff like that. Because their competitors are getting scared and they're pulling their marketing dollars back. And so it's like that now's the time for sure. Like if you're listening to this right now and you're like, ooh, you're getting a little timid about the shoulder months, you got to roll the dice. You know that the demand's going to come back around. You think that these people really are going to go without a heating or an air conditioning system in their home? No. So yeah, you might lose $50 or $60,000, $70,000 right now, and it might be kind of tough for a little bit. But when that demand comes back around and your cash register and your phone are ringing off the hook, you're going to be so glad that you doubled down when it was tough.
Absolutely. Well, there was a guy that I had cold called back in 2020. So we had just started our business. We were just up and running. Plus, I was still running the magazines on the side, double dipping here and there. Had to pay the bills. But I called on this mobile tire company. And he's like, I've got no more money to spend right now because I just went all in on every TV station. He spent $500 per TV station in the market for 3 months of advertising, and they came out and shot the commercials for him. It was the greatest deal in advertising history because it was COVID. What was everyone watching? They're all watching the local news. He got so much traffic from that. It was absolutely unbelievable. I applauded him to the moon and back, and he had never been busier because everyone wanted to get their tires changed, but nobody wanted to drive to the mechanic, right?
Yeah.
It was unbelievable timing. So absolutely, when there's blood in the water, take full advantage of it, right? And then what's his name? The old investor dude. Why can't I remember his name right now?
Medalio?
No, older.
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. When others are be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. Or something like that. Right. Be fearful when others are greedy. Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly it. So maintenance memberships, that's a huge one. What was another one that you noticed this summer that guys really missed the ball on in terms of taking full advantage of the call volume that was there when the heat was turned up?
Yeah. So yeah, outside of the maintenance and the local branding, well, this is a tough one, because people keep saying search demand has been down, and for a while I was seeing that and I was feeling that. And I mean, if you look at Google Trends for different things, you can see that there was certainly a dip in different areas for sure. So I feel like a lot of people missed the ball on trying to like just drum up their own demand, so to speak. Because I just feel like so many people are like, look, I'm going to give you my dollars and you're going to make my phone ring. All right, ready, set, go. But that's not always how easy it is. Like, it's not all like, yes, it was like that in 2019 and 2020, 2021. Yep. You could say, hey, digital agency, here's $10,000, make my phone ring. But that wasn't the case this year. So I think a lot of people were like, all right, we're going to wait on this demand. We're going to wait on this demand. And it never actually showed up. And meanwhile, you had other people out there who were generating their own demand and they were doing a great job. So, so outside of maintenance and local branding, I think demand generation, a lot of people missed the ball on that. And it might honestly be because it hasn't been something that's needed. Everyone's always just put their hooks out in the water and waited for people to bite rather than going out and actually trying to cast a net and see what they can pull into the boat.
Well, and that's, I think, what's really fascinating about the market that we're in right now is that, and I don't know about you and your client base, for us, I would say probably at least 85% of our clients have started their business after 2008.
Yeah.
We've got a handful that are really old, like 40, 50. Well, we've got one client that's 99 years old, but they haven't been punched in the mouth yet. They don't know what that is really like, where the market completely pulls back from what it was. So for those businesses that don't know how to generate demand, right, it can be a real struggle.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We have a private Facebook group for our clients, and I shared a book with them in there. It was that old Guerilla marketing book that like hopefully everyone's read. But I was like, so many people have forgotten. I'm on a blank on the author. So many people have forgotten just like the bread and butter of guerrilla marketing. J. Conrad Levinson. Guerrilla Marketing is the name of the book. And that's the thing, like the people I think that were in business before 2008, like they understood that like, okay, I can't just sit on my ass and wait for the phone to ring. Like we got to get some people rolling. We need to go paint the town red with our brand. We need to go knock on some damn doors. We need to go do whatever it takes. We need to go, start washing cars in the Food Lion parking lot. I don't care. Just doing something to get a lead. And so that's the thing. Like the people who understand guerrilla marketing and went on offense when it got tough, they definitely had at least a summer that they could keep everyone paid and running on the roads for.
Absolutely. Did you notice that for some clients, they were desperate for the calls, so they tried to get more out of every call that they possibly could, spent the time going over IAQ, going over ductwork with every maintenance call that they did have in May and June. But then when the heat finally showed up in July and August, all of a sudden they were just trying to run as many calls as they could and they stopped maximizing them.
Yeah. And what's funny is during May and June when people were doing that, we saw so many 1-star reviews coming through, because people's money was a little bit tighter, and people were trying to maximize those calls. And it, maybe it was desperation, maybe they're just trying to maximize the call. I don't know what it was, but it turned into this company's just trying to sell us whatever they can sell us. And I had never seen more. We have Zapier set up for every Google review that comes in for a client that sends us a Slack message. I've never seen so many 1-star reviews in my life as I have during May and June of this year. From people, and it was all about price, and it was all about, well, I looked on Amazon and this capacitor was only $12, and they quoted me $4.99. So,
Well, and that's being poor at communicating value, right?
yeah.
Yep.
What are y'all's thoughts on people like rebranding, like what a run capacitor actually is? I saw a conversation about that recently where they were like, what do you call a run capacitor? And they like changed the name of it. Is that something y'all have seen people do pretty well?
To be honest, I haven't heard of anyone doing it, but that's brilliant in my mind.
Because
again, it's reframing what it is that a client sees and what their perspective is, right?
Yeah. It goes back to like that comfort club or that peace of mind credit card charge, like you were saying.
Yeah.
I'll have to go find that Facebook post. It was pretty interesting.
I'm gonna go out on the other side of things, and I don't think you should. And the reason I don't think you should is if you communicate value and you can communicate that to your clients to be able to build up and you see that in the responses to those 1-star reviews, like, well, you charged me $300 for a $12 part and replaced it in 30 minutes, right? But if you communicate the value and you show up and you do those extra things and they see you in your community, right? And even like, I'm going to assume that this is Stephanie Postel right here. She hasn't that right. She hasn't given the permissions in our Facebook group, which is okay, by the way, Stephanie. We've been actually going back and forth in the comments. It's kind of funny. We also don't sell parts, we sell services, right? And so okay, well, maybe you put and I'm gonna go out on a limb, and something that I learned from the passenger elevator industry, Evan, is that there was a markup on parts, and there was an insane markup in parts. Like, I'm talking like 300%, 400%. On it, and even labor was even that high too, and like you're talking, it was nuts. I mean, labor was even higher. But what we ended up doing, instead of saying, okay, well, instead of trying to charge your insane markup on parts, we'll put it on our service. We'll put it on our hourly rate vis-a-vis in this example. And now when you can actually sell the service, you can sell the experience. When your people showed up, when your tech showed up, and not to say this is the case in those 1-star reviews that you're mentioning, when they show up, there's a nice van outside. There's nice uniforms on. They put booties on when they go in the house. They don't take their shoes off, or if they want to take their shoes off, great, but usually booties, right? They do all these extra things that go above and beyond to give a good experience when they're in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you those 1-star reviews based off of price go away.
Oh yeah.
Well, I will go on the flip side, and I will say I am a big fan of rebranding it. And to quote Jerry Stiller in Zoolander, when you've got a really hot brand, I mean, you could wrap shit in tinfoil and sell it to the queen as earrings. When you are that hot, when you've got that much value to add, you no longer are on the same playing field as everyone else in your market. So why would you sell the same product, the same idea as everyone else in your market? Right? You can rebrand it as something that does add more value, but it's including a capacitor as part of it.
Right.
So
but that also goes back to what Stephanie said too about we don't sell a part, we sell a service. And so you don't put your outlandish, it's a $12 part, I'm charging $150 for the part on their line item. It's a $12 part, I charge you $24. I'm marking it up. Yeah, you know what, I am, right? Or you mark it 50% up. You know, I got overhead. But your labor and your service makes up for it.
Yeah.
Right. That's the part that they're really paying for, is the service.
Yes.
Well, I might get in trouble for this one, so I will try to be gender neutral. I'll go on both sides.
It's okay. Josh Crouch is HR. He's tuning in on Evan's feed, and he's enjoying the HR stuff. So
I did a sales training way back in the day, and the trainer was like, "Look, you don't have to be the most talented or the most interesting." He was like, all you got to do is just be the hot girl at the dance or the hot boy at the dance. I don't know who's listening or what your preferences are. He's like, you ever notice like the hot popular girl at the dance is usually like the least interesting person once you get to know them, versus like someone else who's like super interesting, straight A's, plays the violin, can do a double backflip, all state softball player. But everyone wants to be like this one person. You can be that person. Your company can be the hot guy or the hot girl at the dance, so to speak. And everyone could be like, I want to work with them because, you know, they're the sexiest company in town, and they've got, you know, the nice trucks, and they got the text messages, and they don't put me on hold, and it doesn't take 7 days for them to get to my house. And then you can charge whatever the fuck you want once you're in that position. I know you said swearing is encouraged, so
Yeah,
that was my test, and I passed, I guess. But when you get to that point where like everyone's like, I don't care about these 3 companies, they already know. You can see it in Google Search Console. We can see it with Anchor Heating and Air. Anchor Heating and Air isn't out there dogfighting over, you know, AC repair near me. People are going straight to Google and typing in Anchor HVAC, Anchor Heating and Air, Anchor Air Conditioning. And it's, you know, because people have already seen it. They've seen the vans. They've seen them at the bar. They've seen them at New Realm Brewery. Everyone already knows who they want to work with. And that's when you get to that point, you can call it a starting component, or you can call it, you know, whatever you want. You don't even have to say this is a $400, $12 capacitor. It's a starting component. And this is like, this is what makes your air conditioner run. And they're going to be like, okay, I trust you. Cha-ching. Cash register.
I do want to circle back to that topic, specifically referencing Google Ads. However, I would be remiss if we did not put in the random question generator. Hey, look at that. Our first ever LinkedIn comment on our live. There you go. Random indeed. So our random question generator brought to you by On Purpose Media, where we are also your local HVAC marketing experts, just like Eric. And hey, if this conversation is resounding with you, reach out to us, reach out to him. Either way, you're going to do yourself a service. But if you ever want to know if your marketing is all screwed up and you just want a marketing analysis and say, hey, no obligation, by the way, we'll look over your shit, tell you what's working, tell you what's not, give you some pointers, hit us up on purposemedia.ca/marketing-analysis to be able to get your marketing analysis done for you. All right, Eric. It's a question. You get to choose 1, 2, or 3. You do not get to actually know what the questions are until you choose what door you want to open. So do you want to open door 1, 2, or 3?
I'm going to go with number 3, and that's only because actually I'm not going to say why, but door number 3.
I'm actually going to cancel door number 3 because I already know the answer. It's not even random. It's what is your favorite restaurant chain? We already know.
Yeah.
So
that is not hidden anywhere.
No, I don't choose these random questions, and so it's kind of funny. But you gotta re-choose door. This is the first time, by the way, in the history of our show, I've made somebody re-choose a question. Do you want door number 1 or door number 2?
I'll take door number 1.
All right. What is one food you cannot live? I will add an asterisk to this. It cannot be anything from Red Robin.
One food that I cannot live with or without?
Without.
Pasta. I love pasta. Like spaghetti, stuffed shells, ziti. Oh, tear me up. Lasagna. I'm all in for some pasta.
Pasta is definitely tasty. I actually had some for lunch, and I was like, that is a
Me
perfect
too.
al dente pasta. I like it more on the al dente side versus like the non-al dente side. I don't know what you call that, but all right. Mush. So coming back into branded search, and I actually saw a report today from one of our clients. He actually is a carpet store, not an HVAC company. So we do other things outside of HVAC marketing as well. And his branded search terms were about a fifth of the cost per conversion. And conversion is loosely monitored on Google Ads as anything that you can track online. We don't send there's lots of complexities on how you can do that after the fact. But
Yeah.
branded search terms being a lot less. What are your thoughts on having a branded campaign on Google Ads,
Oh, I love it.
and why?
Well, one, just brand protection, because there's plenty of people out there that are going to try to poach your traffic from you. Especially, man, like if you're running radio ads with like the Wizard of Ads, like we've got a client here locally that's like they're definitely putting a nice looking coin into the pocket of the radio station, and just so that they can drive that branded search. And like that branding campaign it has to be there because all the other local companies are going after their branded name.
Oh, and that's my favorite too, is showing a client how many companies and which companies are bidding on his brand name. Oh, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, at the very least for brand protection, but you can also have some fun with it too. Like we've seen when we do a branded campaign that like matches their radio or their TV ad, the conversion rate goes up a little bit, which is pretty cool because then you're getting that memory recall. Their radio ad, like Miller's here in Virginia Beach, their radio ad talks about like, don't get franchised over, call Miller's instead, or something like we'll send a real tech, not a selling tech. So when someone goes on Google and searches Miller's Home Comfort, it says literally, it's like, don't get franchised over, call Miller's instead. That's the Google ad. And people see that and they're like, oh, I just heard that in my car. So yeah, I'm a big fan for sure of those branded search ads.
Well, you also said something too, like brand continuity, right? Like the one message goes into the other place, which goes into the other place, which goes into the other place. Speak a little bit more on brand continuity.
I mean, it's huge. I mean, especially like with the messaging, it's got to be consistent because everyone's got a different number here, but they say it's like 7 to 11 touches so that someone will remember your brand. So like if On Purpose Media or Rival Digital is saying on Facebook, hey, we'll build you a website for your HVAC company. And then I go, over to Twitter and say, hey, I'm going to build a website for your video game store, GameStop. It could cause confusion. So it's, making sure that you've got that same messaging, that same just kind of nice, consistent, cohesive look and feel everywhere you're at. And that's like, I put a blog article up about this a while ago too. Like even things about like on social media, like your cover image, making sure you got a consistent cover image everywhere, making sure your logo is consistent, making sure just what you're talking about is consistent. Of course, the medium's different and the size of the graphic and, on Instagram, it might be a reel. But on Twitter, or X, it might be, something else, or on TikTok, it might be something else. So yeah, it's going to be different. It might be video, it might be static image, but the message has got to be the same. Like with Anchor Heating and Air, we're just going to keep on giving them love. When you get on their Instagram, it's a little different than their TikTok, and their TikTok's a little different than their Facebook, but it's all about talking about the Pearl Promise, and there's comfort in being anchored. And so there's a ton of brand continuity there. It's just the way that the message is delivered can be, changed up a little bit.
No, I love that. And it's, incredibly essential to have the continuity there so you can keep the branding going. Very well said. I know we're running a little short on time here, so I want to you got to get back to Dad in here in a bit.
Yeah.
You got a book coming out this winter. And I'm really, really excited for it. I'm excited to promote it, help you boost it in every way possible. But you shared a lesson yesterday on Facebook that you took from your junior year at Western Kentucky, which, I remember when Western Kentucky turned into a D1 school and they finally came on to NCAA football there on EA Sports. And me and my buddy were playing as Western Kentucky, trying to win a national championship as them because it was the greatest challenge in the world. But you did share that your professor shared a message saying marketing is giving the right people the right message and the right offer at the right time, simplifying it even down to get people is step one, and step two is get people to do something is step two. So elaborating a little bit more on the book, what inspired it. I know we kind of touched on that here with your professor, but really how it's going to help people moving forward in understanding what marketing really is, so that they can grow through this next season of the economy.
Yeah. So, yeah, the book, it's called The Best Idea Wins, which is actually the tagline of our podcast. And yeah, it was inspired by that digital marketing course I took in college. Get people to do something. It's a 2-section book. And of course, there's 7 or 8 chapters per section. But what I've seen over the past a year and a half or so is that people just want to go straight to getting people to do something. They want them to call. They're rushing the call to action. And that's why we're seeing so many people struggle right now, is that they are completely forgetting to get people, which is literally this is just like tying a bow up on this entire conversation here. It's like they're not getting club members. They're not getting attention in the marketplace by being omnipresent in their local market. They're not doing the guerrilla marketing. And so many people rush to getting the cash register to ring, getting people to do something, call, fill out the form, book online, that they completely forget step one. So really the whole premise of the book is just like, you can't get them to do anything until they are already mentally bought into who you are and what you can do for them. But then also they have to at least know who you are first. So first half of the book is just, a lot of different tactics and ways to generate brand awareness, get people to know who you are, get people in your club or your tree house, so to speak. And then step 2 of it is getting them to actually do something once they're following you and once they're, in their club.
I love it. Well, and that's the difference between top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel marketing, right? And having offers at the top is so essential to just getting people into your ecosystem so that you can continue to market to them in other ways that are far more efficient and cost effective.
Exactly. Well, and look, like the people listening to this now, like we're all marketing agencies here. We don't ever, just like you said, we'll do a free assessment. You didn't say we're going to take over your SEO, your PPC, your social media, your website, your email marketing. We're going to track your phone calls. You didn't pitch all of that. You said, we'll just do a quick free assessment for you. That's about as perfect of a top of the funnel offer as it gets for what we do. And it's the same thing with heating and air companies. We're going to do just a whole house plumbing inspection, something easy. You're not going to go say, hey, Mrs. Jones, give me $26,000 so I can come rip up your slab and, repipe your entire house. You're going to say, hey, $63 drain inspection. So yeah, sorry, I kind of went on a tangent there.
No, but you're right. One of the things I was going to say, and like these numbers are kind of open to interpretation, but 3% of active, or 3% of people are active buyers. They want to get it now, right? They're actively searching for a solution to their problem. Okay. 17% of people are info gathering. So they're researching what they need and what they want. 20% of them are problem aware, meaning that they know that they have a problem. They don't know what the solution is. Obviously, the next step is their information gathering, because they know there's a solution. They're actively searching for it. 60% of the people out there, though, they're not problem aware. They don't know they have a problem, and they don't even know there's a solution out there, right? And this is where that previous conversation you talked about, like tying a bow on it, talk about branding, talking about all these things that we've mentioned throughout this podcast come full circle. That okay, well, there's 80% of the market out there that isn't ready to actively buy your product. They don't even know your product exists. But if you do the legwork in the beginning, if you do that, the branding, and then you position yourself well online, now when they get to that 3%, you're going to capitalize.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a question for you then, Eric. So yes, the inspection offer, the tune-up offer, that's low-hanging fruit, right? $49 tune-up all day long. what offer can you get that would be even above that? Or what offer would you give or would you suggest to a client that would be above that, that if they could do it or you could execute it with them, would be just the bee's knees, that wouldn't cost people anything, but would start to capture information?
Oh, like outside of like a tune-up?
Yeah.
I love inspections. Because like a tune-up, you're going to do something. You know, in a maintenance, you're going to do something. You're going to clean something. You're going to actually physically do a job. An inspection is someone with a flashlight saying, "Hey, congratulations, you don't have a cracked heat exchanger. You're not going to die from carbon monoxide poisoning." And that's like, you can get that as cheap as you want it, and you just go look at it and make sure that everything's good to go. Inspections are good. I've got one that by the time this airs, when is this going to air?
Well, now.
Do you guys
live?
Does this go on like Spotify or anything afterwards?
Oh yeah, it'll be out either by
Friday,
Monday, likely
Friday or
latest.
Monday.
Yeah.
Friday
Okay.
or Monday, yeah.
So one that we've come up with lately that's pretty exciting is the BOFO, which this isn't like a top, like a low hanging fruit one. This is more middle of the funnel. The BOFO, buy one, flush one, and so you buy a club membership, you get a water heater flush for free. So you're getting the club membership, which in some people's club memberships includes like plumbing, but like, most heating and air companies also do water heaters as well. But they might not do full service plumbing. So the BOFO is huge because you can get the club membership and possibly a water heater out of it. So the BOFO is a good, the BOFO is a good one because you can get at the very least you get a club membership. So
what are your thoughts on buying guides?
Buying guides, like
a PDF download that they could get for
like a
questions to ask for getting an AC replacement, or questions to ask for an AC repair, or a plumbing call, or a drain cleaning, things like that.
That's tough. I go back and forth when it comes to gated content, where it's like, give me your name and email address and I'll give you this checklist. Like sometimes, like we have a guide on our website and it'll be like, sometimes I just give it away. And then sometimes I want the email address. I've never noticed, a spike in conversion either way, from the bottom of the funnel, so to speak. So, I mean, I think it's great because the homeowner is going to find out the answer no matter what. So they can either get the answer from you or they can get the answer from Angie's List, or Home Advisor. And so if they get the answer from you, they at least are going to be getting into your wheelhouse. And if they go get the answer from Angie's List, then they're going to be thinking that, this new heating and air conditioning system is only going to cost them $4,500. So I think guides are definitely great. And, you can make it pretty simple with just name, email, phone number, or just give it away for free.
Or just give it free.
Yeah, absolutely. Either's fine. That's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter if you get their email or not, because if you provide enough value, like we were talking about earlier, if you provide enough value and you build yourself up as a topical authority, enough, then they're going to end up doing business with you one way or another. So
I wonder, this is just off the cuff. This is drinking thinking. This is why we drink on the podcast.
That's right.
Doing a retargeting campaign on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or TikTok on top 6 things that HVAC companies don't want you to know when you're thinking about replacing your AC.
I love it.
And then having them subscribe to that, get it emailed to them. Now they've got the PDF of it or the video of it or whatever.
Yeah. No, I think that's brilliant. Something like that, because
there you go. So for whoever this is, I don't know who it is because I'm not logged into the Facebook
Jason
group. My
Julian.
computer would crash. Right. I know I have a problem. This is why I'm watching you guys and trying to implement as much as I can. So whoever that is, let's implement it.
yeah.
Was it Jason?
Yeah, it was Jason. So
All right, Jason will implement it. But yeah, doing something like that where you can follow people around and offer something that they're going to subscribe to for free, especially because you run Facebook ads at your agency, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's something that we're not amazing at, but we do try it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hit or miss, and I mean, let's face it, the follow up is the hardest part because so many people click the button and put in their information and say, "Yeah, I'm interested," and then you call them 30 seconds later, and they're like, "I didn't click anything. I didn't fill out a form."
Yeah.
But to follow up with something like that, I wonder what the conversion rates would turn into. So
Yeah. And that's I maybe another CHIRP plug, but
right. Retargeting with CHIRP.
Yeah.
Sweet. No, the book is going to be great. I'm so excited for it. I'm excited for the party at AHR in Chicago. The book launch party that you've already pre-invited us to. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm looking right now. Y'all think that we're going to be like going to some rooftop in Chicago?
why not?
No, dude, there's a perfectly good Red Robin franchise in Chicago. Why?
All
got
you see
bread.
fries. We got bottomless fries for everyone.
Talk about branding
Yeah.
continuity right there.
Yeah, it's on brand. It's cost effective.
Right. Hey, like if you guys have taken some value out of today's conversation, you ever want to reach out and have a conversation with Eric? I know he even said he didn't even want to plug anything. He just wanted to come onto our show as a guest, but we're still going to do it anyways. Eric at rivaldigital.com. You can blast him on his cell phone, 757-639-0040. If you want to check out his podcast, Smart HVAC Marketing, rivaldigital.com/podcast. Check them out.
All right, my friend, we got one final question for you here before you run. What is one question that you wished people would ask you more, but they don't?
Ooh. For marketing sake, like for agencies or
Anything, bud. The floor is yours.
Personal business, it don't matter.
I think two parts. Personal side, I think that we should all just show a little bit more grace to each other, just out in the world. So maybe just ask people. Everyone's always like, "How you doing?" "Oh, I'm doing great." "How's business?" "Oh, business is great." When's the last time someone asked you, "Hey, man, are you happy?" No one ever asks you that. Like, are you happy? Like, let's actually talk about some stuff. So I think that like maybe next time anyone listening to this, next time you see a pal or a buddy, and you're, "Oh man, how was work this week?" "Oh man, it was fine. It was work." Like, I don't know, maybe just actually check in on them, see how they're doing. From a marketing side, I think that contractors should ask more often, outside of who owns the website, who owns the hosting, who owns my Google ads, all that stuff. You should also ask like who's actually doing this work, because we've seen recently a lot of like you're talking to like a one-man band and there's like a gaggle of freelancers out here doing all the work. And so next thing you know, you get into the back end of the site and there's just like 12 different random people from all over the world touching your website. So
Yep.
it's not always a bad thing, that they've got a freelance network doing the work, but it's good for you to know. That way, who's responsible if something breaks or if something succeeds. So yeah.
I love it. Hey, Eric, you happy right now?
I am very happy right now. A little slap happy, I'd say, but happy.
Still riding that new dad high.
I'll ask you again in about a month or so, and see if postpartum depression on the dad side. I mean, it's real on both sides, by the way. If it's still there, and by the way, if anybody is, whether it's Eric or anybody that's listening, I mean, female, I only understand what my wife has told me. There's definitely other resources out there, but if you're a new dad and you are in that postpartum depression dad world, definitely do hit me up because I've been there. I've done that. And it was actually worse on my second kid than it was on my first kid, by the way. So
It's tough.
yeah, it's interesting. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, but I will say that to anybody out there. So
Good stuff.
I love it. Well, when the honeymoon phase resides and you still haven't had a good night's sleep in the next 3 months, then yeah, definitely we'll have some conversations, bud.
yep.
Yeah.
But I am also glad to know that you're happy right now, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Loving it.
Absolutely. Love the Barstool hat.
Oh yeah. There we go. One bite. Everyone knows the rules.
There you go.
I got a shirt that matches it. It says Saturdays are for the dads, and on the back of it, it's like a beer can with. The beer can's like the dad. He's like pushing a lawnmower. It's pretty cool. Or he's working on a truck or something like that. Good times.
Love it. Great times. Can't wait to hang out with you again, my friend, in Austin in not even a month now.
Yeah. Looking forward to it for sure.
It's going to be a good time. Congratulations on all the success. Congratulations on top 40.
Thank you.
Super, super proud of you for hitting that. And
Thanks, guys.
yeah, man, I love the work that you do. That's why we had you on the show today. And thank you so much for contributing to our audience today.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on, and keep up all the good work on y'all's end as well.
Sweet, man.
Perfect.
Until next time.
Cheers. Well, that's a wrap on another episode of HVAC Success Secrets Revealed. Before you go, two quick things. First off, join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/HVAC Revealed. The other thing, if you took one tiny bit of information out of this show, no matter how big, no matter how small, all we ask is for you to introduce this to one person in your contacts list. That's it. That's all. One person. So they too can unleash the ultimate HVAC business. Until next time, cheers.